Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, where we celebrate individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors.
I am here at day number 3 of Field Fest. This is the inaugural event for the Outdoor Writers Association of America. I have to tell you, I am totally exhausted. We've been put through the ringer of outdoor activity, and this is the last day. And I really would love, I should say I got prodded a little bit. Howard, where's your equipment? It's like, well, here I am. And we're gonna have a few little interviews, 2 or 3 minutes at the most, with some of the participants who attended Field Fest. And my first guest here at the event is Liz May. Now, Liz, where are you from?
North Carolina, Greenville, North Carolina.
Liz is from Greenville, North Carolina. What brought you to Field Fest?
Kay Mahan from Alabama down there. She recommended OWAA at the last time I saw her at our conference. And so I signed up after that. And the inaugural event was right after I signed up. They opened it. So I just decided to take a chance and see how it would turn out.
Excellent. And what events did you participate in?
I did 3 different things, 3 different days. So I did an alpaca cuddle, I guess I would say, an e-bike 25-mile adventure. I did a kayaking adventure, and God, I don't even remember.
Any strenuous hiking?
It was a moderately strenuous hike around the lake, and
I think I was on that hike with you.
I believe you were, yes, and it was an adventure.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did, actually, yes.
I have to ask you a question. Would you attend future OWAA events like this?
100% I would. Yep, absolutely.
What are you going to do with some of the content? You're coming here as a journalist, a writer, a photographer, an artist, podcaster.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with some of the experience from this event?
I am going to use it for content on my site, on my website. So I'm going to write some articles featuring the activities that we did.
That's great. Now, if listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, what is your website URL?
GetLostInTheUSA.com.
Excellent. Well, we will provide a link in our show notes to GetLostInTheUSA.com. Liz, I know that you look like the last thing you wanted to do was be interviewed, but I'm so glad you did that with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I am here with Molly. Molly is probably the right-hand of the chief planner of this event, Alec Castro. But she is pretty significant in her own right. And the fact that you're here, she's the most important person in the room. She's handing out drink ticket. But Molly, what have you been doing with regard to this event and really helping the OWAA and Alec really, make this a success that it is?
Well, first off, I'm not even part of the OWAA. I was honored enough for Alec to bring me in as the other DMO to kind of help him mitigate all risk. And so...
DMO, tell us what that means.
DMO, Destination Marketing Organization. And my destination marketing organization is Greene County. So I represent Discover Greenville in Greene County. And
I did an interview with Discover Greenville in Greene County. So, hey, I know you guys.
So you did an interview with my boss, Jeff, who knows everything about Greene County and more. And so we actually today went on our Field Fest in Greene County. We went to Two Roots Alpaca Shearing and Fiber Mill. Then we went to Cotton's Country Store and had some lunch. And then we went to Paint Creek, which is in the Cherokee National Forest, and e-biked over through the mountain to Hot Springs, North Carolina, and back. So that was our Field Fest destination.
That is fantastic. One thing I've learned since interviewing all of the participants, that there's so many wonderful places here in Northeast Tennessee. And you just said the magic word, hot springs. I feel like I've been put through the ringer. Are there actual hot springs here where people can sit down, enjoy, and just kind of relax and after the hike?
The only hot springs that I know of in our area is just right over the border in North Carolina. But here in Tennessee, I am not aware of any other hot springs that we have. So it's really a treasure to have one just over the mountain. You can get your workout in, you get your sweat on in the hot springs, you can choose to get a massage, and then bike on back.
I love that. O'Malley, really appreciate you taking the time to say a quick couple words with us. If listeners want to learn more about you, the work of Greene County, what's your website URL that you'd like to send people to?
Yes, we are discovergreenvilletn.com.
Thank you so much. Hey, let's go in and enjoy ourselves, and we're going to do some more interviews. Thank you. All right, this is Howard, and I am back day 3, and I have the pleasure of chatting with Emily Louina. Emily and I know each other, obviously, from the Outdoor Writers Association of America, the conferences, but here we've been at Field Fest. And I really want to hear from you, Emily. What has been your experience these last couple of days here at the event?
Hi. Yeah, thanks for asking. So this is my first time in the state of Tennessee at all. I have to admit that it was not high on my list of states to visit immediately. I want to see them all, but it wasn't in my immediate plans, and I'm so glad that I came. The state parks especially impressed me, and I had to keep reminding myself that I wasn't at a national park. They were so well constructed, so well organized. The interpretation was really good, both verbal and in the signage, that I was really blown away by that.
Fantastic. Now, in addition to the outdoor nature of this event, how was the educational aspect? We had a number of workshops. You got to meet a lot of the regional partners here who are supporting the event. What was that experience like, just to meet so much and also have an opportunity to learn along with the exploration outdoors?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the mashup of everything. It had a traditional conference feel, it had a field trip feel, it had a press trip feel, all combined. I think my favorite aspect was probably the speed dating event, where different publishers and boards and representatives were at different tables, and we went around in a timed and organized fashion to meet and learn from all of them in turn. And I thought that was a really fair way to learn about destinations and things that I may not have approached otherwise.
Thank you for that. And as far as the outdoor activity, was there one outdoor activity that really, it was really a wow moment for you? Maybe it was 2, but how did you feel about the level of effort and the intensity in some cases of just being outdoors and exploring with the partners on the event?
Well, admittedly, I'm a water person, so all the water-related activities are my favorite. Stand-up paddleboarding, the opportunity to try an inflatable SUP for the first time was especially exciting for me because I have a traditional board at home. But I would have to say that kayaking today in Morristown with Dirty Birds was the highlight. They were very well organized, and it was a beautiful location, turquoise water, which I did not expect to see in Tennessee. And even though it was midday, there was still lots of wildlife out. We saw deer and many bird species.
Excellent. Now I have to ask the question, what is the Dirty Bird?
Dirty Bird is an organization based out of Knoxville, and they help events on the water, either as a guided tour, either on stand-up paddleboards or kayaks. They also help support other water-based events, such as the U.S. Masters Swimming Open Water Championship, which they've done before.
Excellent. Well, Emily, I appreciate you taking the time to chat today and just after dinner. I know there's another post-dinner event coming up, but if listeners to this podcast episode want to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places right now you'd like to send them?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Definitely emilylouina.com. I know it's an unusual name, so I'm going to spell it for everyone. It's Louina, And if you go there, if you go to the contact and about section, you can write to me directly and find links to all my social media handles.
Fantastic, Emily. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you at future national conferences and Field Fest events.
Absolutely. It's been a blast.
Thank you. I am here now with a young lady, Brenda Whitson. She is the executive director of Visit Johnson City. And personally, I have to say heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Brenda, because when I approached Alec Castro about doing some podcasting as perhaps kind of like a get to know Johnson City and this event with the regional partners, and I approached Alec about doing podcasts, and I'm so glad that the answer was yes. And the individual who said yes and basically signed the check in a way is Brenda Whitson, the executive director of Visit Johnson City. So, Brenda, what's your feelings now this event is coming to an end? I think it's been a success. What's your perception of this?
I think hosting this event has opened the door to a lot of opportunities for the people who have attended. I think those have come haven't been here before, so they see that Northeast Tennessee, that Johnson City and this region have so much to offer from an outdoor rider perspective, but also to offer families who want to come here and experience real and authentic tourism.
I couldn't agree more. After every interview, the one thing that was going through my mind is this would be a really cool place to live. I live in Las Vegas now. I love it, but I'm in some ways looking for my next place to live.
Right.
And now it's going to be a hard decision. What is it like within this community to really partner not only Johnson City, but the other partners, Morristown, Greenville, Unicoi, Heart of Appalachia? What is it like to partner? Because I think that was just a brilliant strategy.
We realize that partnership is key to our success because in Johnson City alone, we don't have enough to do to keep people here more than a day and a half to 2 days. So we realize if we're promoting our entire region, this gives people reason to stay here longer, to spend more money, which is what we want them to do too. But it also allows a visitor to see that, oh, in this city I can do X, in this city I can do another thing. And so we all complement each other on what we're able to provide a visitor as far as the experience goes. And the same with a rider.
Would it be safe to say that this event, Field Fest, is going to be a blueprint for Visit Johnson City and the regional partners?
I think it absolutely is. I think it's the exclamation point because this region works together so well. We do co-op partnerships together very often because it just makes sense for us. Because as you saw when you went out into our region, you have communities that are smaller, that may have smaller budgets. So those of us who have larger budgets, then we're able to compensate for what they can't. And that helps to bring highlight and attention to our entire region of Tennessee.
That is fantastic. And again, I think you all have done a fantastic job. And I am personally excited to come back to Northeast Tennessee because I think it's a wonderful place. Before I let you go, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and the work, Visit Johnson City, where would you like us to send them?
If you want to learn more about Johnson City, go to our website, visitjohnsoncitytn.com. Follow us on social media. You can see all the great things there is to see and do here.
Fantastic. And we're going to provide those links in our show notes. Brenda, thank you so much. And again, I'm very grateful
Thanks,
for being able to participate. Thank you. I am back now for another short interview with the attendees here at the inaugural Field Fest event here in Johnson City. And I have the great pleasure of having a conversation with somebody who I know virtually, but I don't think we've ever met in person. But I have Brandy Hastings here. She is an accomplished writer, journalist, and I just would love to hear a little bit more about Brandy and her experience being here. And by the way, she does have one of the best backpacks. It's got the Golden Girls behind it. I think we need a picture of that for the show notes. But Brandy, what's been your experience here at Field Fest?
Well, one of my favorite things was meeting the Howard Fox in person.
I feel like we worked on so many projects together, so it's great to meet you in person, and you're a legend. But no, just being here and seeing just how much the region has to offer as a whole. So we did whitewater rafting in Nolenchucky River. So awesome. Now, I did fall out. I may have floated down the river for a minute, but it was a great experience. So much fun. And we did like class 4 rapids. I mean, it was pretty amazing. I didn't know that I expected that level out of Eastern Tennessee, but it was amazing. Then we hiked some waterfalls. We hiked a part of the Appalachian Trail. I went e-biking today from Paint Creek to Hot Springs over in Greene County. That was awesome. And oh my gosh, I met some alpacas today. Oh my gosh, they were so sweet because they have the crazy hair. And so just like me, they had crazy hair too. And they're just, they're so cute. They wanted to come love on us. We gave them baby carrots. They came and ate out of our hands. It was an amazing experience. But they also taught us, it wasn't just about the kissing and hugging on the alpacas. We got to go and like learn how they actually make the yarn and everything. So it was a cool experience to see them on the farm and then see what happens after that, how that turns into the socks that are on my feet. So
I love that. And by the way, I love alpaca. I'm curious now, as an accomplished writer, journalist, how are you going to take the ideas, what you've seen, and turn that into content for people who are going to read your work?
So part of it is being here. Number one, getting to experience some of those things so I can have new things, experiences that I can share with others through my work. And then another part of it is just getting to experience these things, being in the great outdoors, being on the water, being in the woods, pushing myself to the limits, like crawling up and down that waterfall. Those types of things just help us think more creatively as a whole, just open our minds and allow us to just bring more in and think on a different level. So I think just being here, being outside, seeing new things has just opened my mind to a lot of different things. And being around the amazing people here, the people who have done such awesome things in their work has really inspired me, yourself included in this. It's really inspired me to go back and just push myself to some new goals that I have.
That's fantastic. Now, would it be safe to say you're going to attend another Field Fest event?
I already signed up. I don't even know where it is, when it is. I already signed up.
All right. I love that. And by the way, I did end up in the water today too. Probably not as exciting as your adventure, but...
Did you fall out of the canoe?
No, we were in the kayak and they had just pushed us off, literally. And I don't know, maybe it's my age and balance, but I literally just tipped right into about 3 inches of water. It's like, that's kind of embarrassing, but I said, done. But it was a great experience. Brandy, it's been a pleasure to get to know you and meet you in person. If listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where would you like to send them?
So my website is outdoortravelwriter.com and my Instagram is Adventures of Brandy Jo.
Excellent. Well, we will provide all the backlinks in our show notes. Brandy, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for participating in this interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, I am back for another interview. I have the pleasure of chatting with Ashley Stimpson. Ashley is a member of Outdoor Writers Association of America. I don't know if we've actually met in person, but we have met virtually. I know about her through her work, but here she is at Field Fest. And Ashley, it's a pleasure to meet you.
So nice to be here, Howard. Thank you.
And Ashley, what has been your perception, your experience since you have been here at Field Fest?
I'm sure that you've had other guests say the same thing, but I think seeing the regional partners work together so succinctly and so smoothly and so happily has been quite notable. So all the different counties around Northeast Tennessee and even into Virginia. But of course, I think anyone that comes to this area is immediately struck by the landscape, by the beautiful mountains and rivers, and it's a very special place.
Excellent. Now, for your outdoor writing, what is your specialty?
Yeah, I cover mostly conservation, climate change, wildlife, with a little bit of outdoor rec thrown in there.
And with your presence here at this event, what are you hoping to take away from your experiences here, and what kind of content is this going to
be turned into for your readers?
Yeah, for me, I really like to go places and meet the people on the ground that are doing conservation work. And so I was able to do that at different parks, at city nature centers. And even if a story doesn't immediately materialize in that moment, that's a library. Those are sources in my library. Those are the germs of story ideas. Right now I'm working on a grant application about amphibians, and the Southern Appalachian Mountains are the salamander capital of the world. So I was very excited to kind of meet some amphibians even and talk to people about amphibians and salamanders. So that's the kind of thing that I find these OWA events really useful for.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. And how about the educational spin? Because it's not all fun and games going out on hiking and fishing and rock climbing. How about the educational aspect of the event? What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm always really blown away by the diversity of knowledge that we have in our organization. And so sitting through workshops that might not have a lot to do with what I experience on a day-to-day basis as a traditional journalist is super fascinating. And then we had a really great talk from the naturalist in Johnson City. I think her name is Connie. And it was a fantastic talk. I hope we can have her back at some other events. But those moments spent in a hotel conference room were just as useful as the moments we spent out on the river and on the trails and things like that.
Excellent. Now, what outdoor activity was your big aha moment since you were out in the beautiful Northeast Tennessee?
I stood up on a stand-up paddleboard for the very first time, and I had fun. It was always an activity I didn't really think was for me. I don't know why I thought that, but I almost got in the kayak, and then I thought, no, I'm gonna get on the stand-up paddleboard, and I did it, and I did not fall off, and I had a really nice time. So that was a first, and I think not the last time I'll be doing that.
That's fantastic. I actually felt the way about fly fishing because, like, this is fun. I want to do it again. Now, Ashley, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places you'd like us to send them?
Yeah, so you could go to my website. It's ashleystimpson.com. But I write a lot for outlets like Popular Mechanics and the Washington Post and Sierra. So I'm kind of all over the place. You'll see me here and there.
Fantastic. Ashley, again, thank you so much for chatting with us today, and look forward to seeing you at future events. And I'm glad we finally had a chance to get to know each other. Thank you.
Same. Thank you so much, Howard.
Take care. All right, everybody. We are back for another short interview. I have the pleasure of chatting with a young lady who, ever since I joined OWAA, has been just a smiling face, a supportive individual. And we even had a chance not only to break bread together, but we were in a boat fly fishing together. And I tell you, this woman is no dabbler. She was crushing it in fly fishing this week. And it is a pleasure to bring her back on the podcast because we did an interview with her back for, what was it? It was last year for the OWAA conference in Gulf Shores. And I have the pleasure of reintroducing Suzanne Downing. Suzanne, welcome.
Thanks, Howard. Glad to be here.
Now, Suzanne, it's, again, always a pleasure. And you actually have a role with OWAA. You're responsible for crafting, creating the Outdoors Unlimited, our digital magazine. What has it been like to really not only participate, getting this event and working with the regional partners, but also taking part in all these outdoor activities? What's that been like?
Yeah, first, the magazine is great. It's a lot of good content for members, and to be here in person, hiking the Appalachian Trail and also fly fishing. Like you said, we got a chance to get on the boat together. It's been awesome to just get the dirt under my boots and be here and experience all of this wonderful things. And as outdoor communicators, that's what we do, right? We go out into the outdoors and then we let people know about our shared spaces that are available.
I love it. Thank you for that. Now, I know in one of the areas of your writing that you really enjoy is product testing. And so you were hiking, you're fishing, you were petting alpacas. What has prepared you from a gear standpoint that it was really helpful to have it out here in Northeast Tennessee?
Yeah, actually, going back to our fly fishing day on the drift boat, we had some torrential downpours and we had our rain gear. I had a Rab 100% waterproof Gore-Tex jacket that I put to the test, and I had worn it in light rain before. And I tell you what, I was bone dry and so thankful that I had that coat. So, testing a lot of different waterproof jackets helped me prepare for that day. And I was in the outdoors and I needed it, and it was awesome. Also, some different footwear that I've tested, having the sandals on the trip was also super handy.
Fantastic. And I had the little lanyard that held my smartphone as I got dumped in the water today on a kayak. It's like my smartphone stayed nice and dry. I was wet, but that's a whole other story. So I'm curious, while you're here at the event, how did you do this event, not just as an employee of the OWAA, but also as an outdoor communicator? What are you learning at this event?
There's a lot of craft improvement, so a lot of the personal development and also networking, making connections. We had an editors panel where we were able to be candid with editors, do the Q&A session, really get those connections. And it's nice to really collaborate. And I look forward to always collaborating, always learning how I can help others as well as make money, right? That's what we want to do as outdoor communicators, and make those connections and make money doing something that we love. So that's for me is the biggest part, is to learn the area. Tennessee's beautiful. Really get your feet wet, literally, in the river, and yeah, connect with other like-minded communicators.
That's great. Now, you've attended a number of the OWAA annual conferences. This is our inaugural Field Fest event. Hopefully, there are going to be more. What's your perception of this type of event versus the annual event?
So anytime you get smaller events that happen where you have a smaller group, it's more intimate, there's more conversations. Also, this event allowed us to get out in the field rather than be confined to four walls, which sometimes can happen. You get in that rut, and that really makes this conference stand out. In our other conferences, we do have pre-tours and post-tours, but to have a nice blend of workshops, like your workshop you gave on podcast was super helpful. Then we had some other workshops on entrepreneurship, and then you're getting out into experience, and it's more of that mental reset for me, I feel like, is the differentiator.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Now, Suzanne, it's always a pleasure to see you and just to converse with you. You've been very supportive of my work and getting me involved in Outdoors Unlimited. If our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where would you like them to go?
I would you can Google my name, Suzanne Downing, and you can see a lot of my freelance work out there. And then also on our OWAA website, send an email to info@owa.com.
All right. Well, you heard it, folks. If you want to learn more about OWAA, info@owaa.com. Suzanne, it's been a pleasure to see you and just to get out there on the river and really crush it with some fly fishing. So thank you again.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, folks, we are back with really a gentleman that, I don't know, if he's like the captain of the ship here. He's been steering us through this wonderful inaugural Field Fest event. I have the pleasure to introduce to you, actually a second time because he's been on the podcast before, Alec Castro. He is with Visit Johnson City. Alec, it's a pleasure. You've done a great job. I am exhausted, by the way. I think we do need a masseuse and hot tubs here, okay? But I'm just saying that, future event. But Alec, again, congratulations. What's it been like to really see this come to fruition?
Howard, I'm like a proud daddy right now. I really am, because this was nearly a year in the making. And it's a small, intimate, curated experience with the intensity of planning and details for 1,000 people. It really is. Because when it comes to media events like this, all the planning you do for one person, it's the same that you would do for 100. So although we had about 20 media And then we were in the mid 30s and higher throughout the week. People look at that and it's like, oh, that's a small group. But the amount of time, thought, creativity to curate a week-long experience for all those people with the intention of gathering stories for the future and enhancing their business opportunities, that's why it takes a year to do so.
You just shared something I think is very important. I mean, it takes a lot of work to produce an event, but if journalists like myself, we're going to go back and create more content, and it's going to be an opportunity to really market and sell this area. What do you see overall as the impact?
And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because really this event could not occur without all the partners from Johnson City, Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. It took an entire region of this country to pull off what we did this week. And Johnson City could not do it alone, and the partners could not do it alone either. And because of that, in the future, we continue to plan to enhance and nurture the relationship within the media community in and outside of OWAA, and stay in touch. We've become really good friends. We know both business and personal things about one another now. And moving forward, there's a support system. If you're looking for content in the Central Appalachian region, there's no reason why the attendees who attended this last week's events does not have a support system and a friend to utilize what is here for their business.
I love that. I love that. I know a lot has gone on in these past couple of days. A lot has gone on into planning this event. Like I said, it's been a year in the making. Is there one aha moment when you look back and you think, oh my God, this is fantastic?
So I think it was the first morning, Monday morning, we had our Meet the Editors panel, our media marketplace, and then it was time for tours. And 4 shuttles came in front of the Carnegie Hotel, and we all split into groups, and we were all getting into our respective shuttles with our private drivers. And I was like, this is the moment. Like, this is when we go into the field. This is why the name exists. Field Fest is to immerse yourself in the market and experience what is here. And I think for me, seeing those shuttles go in to pick us up and going out into the region as 4 groups, but also unified in terms of our purpose, was the aha moment for me.
I love that. And thank you for sharing that. Alec, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
So Alec Castro, Director of Sales and Public Relations with Visit Johnson City, Tennessee, at Visit Johnson City TN on socials. And please email me, castro@visitjohncitytn.com, to just talk and see how we can work together and support each other in our efforts.
Thank you, Alec. It's been a pleasure. And again, folks, Alec Castro has just done a wonderful job of really pulling this off. This is no small feat, no matter how small this conference was. We really appreciate Alec and his partners and his able assistant, Molly, really keeping us on our toes and making sure we're down in the lobby at some ungodly time.
So that's another great memory, was this morning on Wednesday when we had to be in the lobby at 6:45 a.m. to start our full day tour. So I was very shocked that everyone got there on time. So kudos to everyone in following instructions.
You've got that. I'm a rule follower. I'm a rule follower. Alec, thank you again. It's been a pleasure.
Howard.
Take care. All right, folks, we're back with another interview here at the inaugural Field Fest here in beautiful Johnson City. And I have the pleasure of chatting in person with somebody I've actually already know. I had the pleasure of interviewing Alison Ormsby with a venture scientist. I'd say it's been a month, maybe 2 months ago, and I was really excited to learn that she was going to be attending Field Fest. So, Alison, it's so good to meet you in person. Welcome.
Oh, so great to see you too and to go on some field trips with you.
Yes, we did do the field trips, and I'm just happy I survived. How did you survive?
I mean, it was challenging, but fabulous and very rewarding.
Since this is your first OWAA event, what's been your overall impression of what we do and what Visit Johnson City and their regional partners did for us here at Field Fest?
Well, everyone was really nice. I loved meeting the other members, and everyone was very supportive and collaborative. Appreciated that. Made some great connections, and everyone's taking different aspects of writing. So there's room for everybody. and I felt really supported here.
That's excellent. What did you learn most about the outdoor space here in Northeast Tennessee that you're going to take back with you to Adventure Scientist?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of overlooked spots like Irwin, Tennessee, and the waterfall that we hiked to. That was very challenging, but amazing. And the great restaurants and bakery and coffee shops. So I think there's just a lot of hidden gems in this area.
And how about the educational aspects of Field Fest? I mean, we had the morning events, and then we'd go off and do exploring. Though the third day we had all day out. What was your thoughts on the educational events?
I did like the educational events. I like talking to a local naturalist, learning more about podcasting, learning about AI and how that can interact with our work. So it was a good mix of field events and then also workshops.
Excellent. Now, is it safe to say you're going to come back for another Field Fest event?
I love the idea of Field Fest. I mean, this was in my region, but I look forward to exploring new regions.
That is excellent. Any other final thoughts? What's been your aha moment, just kind of being out here in this beautiful country and getting a chance to learn and explore and experience?
I mean, I really enjoyed meeting the other writers and like thinking about what medium they're using, getting some pro tips from them, and then being inspired by being in nature again. I love it.
Very good. Now, is there one particular plant, animal that really just excited you since you were out here?
Well, I saw a lot of really beautiful tulip poplars, and when we were playing disc golf, I couldn't help looking at all the trees, shagbark hickory, pretty awesome. It's just a beautiful area.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, Alison, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and Adventure Scientists, where's the best places for them to go?
Definitely on our website, adventurescientist.org. Please sign up for our newsletter and follow us on social media.
Excellent. We will do just that.
It's time to go to a closing night party.
We're going to a closing night party. Peace out. The rest of the interviews will be coming up. Okay, I am back here at day 3 of our Field Fest event, and I have really the extreme pleasure of chatting with our executive director of the Outdoor Writers Association of America, Chez Chesak. Chez, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
Chez, I don't think we've actually ever chatted with each other on my podcast, so this is actually maybe breaking the ice. We'll have you back on for a full episode, but I'm curious. Field Fest, I know you introduced it at our annual conference down in Gulf Shores. We are in the trailing edge. I think this is the after party up in the beautiful suite, enjoying some adult beverages. But what's been your impression of Field Fest, and did it meet your expectations? Did it exceed your expectations?
Really blew them away. I mean, I knew that I wanted to get our members together more often. There's such a collaborative spirit within our members. There's so much information that our members need from each other, but then also to see the local destinations come together and working so incredibly well. And then just all the side conversations, all the just good information, suggestions for destinations, or destinations pitching story ideas back to members coming back and asking them about different outlets that they might be able to pitch to. It was so collaborative and so communal it was just fantastic. And Visit Johnson City just did an amazing job. So definitely a tip of the cap to them for sure.
Now, you first were introduced to Alec probably about a year ago, I would imagine. And I mean, they did a phenomenal job. My sense is this is a very repeatable type event. What is your thoughts?
No, absolutely. Because we want to, part of the impetus behind this was be able to bring this kind of event, this kind of spirit, this kind of media to smaller destinations. Smaller destinations are generally more rural. That means they usually have access to some great outdoor product. But a lot of them can't host our big annual conference of 250 or more people. So to be able to bring this to a destination like this, to be able to showcase all the adventure travel and outdoor opportunities that they have, and have our members here ready to tell those stories, that's just fantastic. And we certainly want to do more of that.
Excellent. And how about your own content? And you're not just the executive director of OWAA, but you have your hands in other writing projects. How is this going to influence your other job, so to speak?
No, it's great. Since COVID, a lot more of my writing has been more drive market material, which a destination like this is really excited about. So I live in Cincinnati. I write for some regional publications up there. That's only 4.5 hours away. So this is a long weekend destination for them, and I can pitch my publications up there. to show them a different part of Tennessee that I never really had explored before. And I think a lot of their readers just don't know about yet. So I can educate them, hopefully bring them to certainly a beautiful part of the country and allow them to have a fantastic time just by broadening their mind and bringing new knowledge to them about where they can go.
Excellent. Now, any final thoughts from you regarding potential host regions, host cities about the future OWAA Field Fest events that you'd want them to know when they kind of inquire, hey, I heard you did this event, we're interested. What do you want to share with them?
This is an opportunity to kind of like break out of our normal conference mode. The conference is great, but the conference has to be kind of a certain time of year to get the most of our members there. But why wouldn't we have an event that's focused on winter, for example, winter sports, winter outdoors, ice fishing, snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, and we have a destination lined up that wants to do just that. We've got another destination interested that's outside of a major metropolitan area, but has great access to outdoors in a kind of a more coastal environment. So we can highlight a destination at a different time of year, again, bring our members together and just elevate these stories that are just not going to be part of our annual conference. And again, usually for a smaller destination, it's kind of perfect, I think.
Excellent. And I have to say, it's been a wonderful event. I've enjoyed it. Definitely pushed me to the physical limit in certain cases to get a little wet, but I actually did something I've never done before, which is fly fishing. So it was a phenomenal event, good education. Ches, before we head out, if our listeners would like to learn more about you, the Outdoor Writers Association, where would you like to send them?
Yeah, OWAA.org has a wealth of information, and specifically about this event. Under events, there's a whole RFP section that a destination can go check out information about our conference or Field Fest.
Excellent. Ches, thank you so much for your time. It's been a great pleasure to be here in Johnson City and getting to do more activities with you. So thank you again.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
We hope you enjoyed these short segments with some members of the host committee and the OWAA attendees who were here in Johnson City for the inaugural Field Fest event. We especially want to thank Visit Johnson City and the regional partners for collaborating in putting together this wonderful event. It was a phenomenal time, and like I said at the onset, I am exhausted. But I am really excited to see what comes out of this event and where the next ones are going to be held. But again, Visit Johnson City and the regional partners just absolutely crushed it. Now, we'll have all of the guest names and their contact information if you'd like to learn more about their work in our show notes. As for us, you can find the Outdoor Adventure Series on our website, outdooradventureseries.com. You can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search for Outdoor Adventure Series. And of course, you can listen to this final segment that we produced for Field Fest wherever you listen to your podcast. So whatever directory, just do a search for Outdoor Adventure Series. You'll be able to find this episode as well as the prior episodes leading up to this event, as well as any of our other episodes produced for the Outdoor Adventure Series. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day, take care of yourselves, your family, get out there and explore this country. It's beautiful, and make sure you check out what is available to you in the wonderful counties that make up Northeast Tennessee. Until next time, take care, and we look forward to having you on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.